8.3 is live and you need to be ready for this shit. How? Well, clearly by watching this video, since today we will go over everything you need to get started in 8.3. The intro questline, horrific visions, the legendary cloak, new gear and new essences and a lot more. So bookmark this baby because we have a lot of shit to talk about.
When you first log in, you will meet Magni in the Chamber of Hearth, where he will take you through the intro scenario. You probably heard about this, but this shit is super long. I'm guessing yay as far as content goes, but so far you cannot skip it with alt, so maybe nay on that front. Magni will ask you to meet him in the Hall of Origination in Uldum, to which you can get to from the Uldum portal in your faction's capital city, where the Cataclysm Portals area is. Once you get there, you'll kill stuff, do puzzles, activate and deactivate shit, etc. And once you are done with this, you essentially unlock the new Uldum faction and are sent to your very first assault of the Black Empire. Plus, you also get a bunch of daily quests which are done in the same area. The assault is basically filling a bar, but by doing the dailies, you'll naturally fill the bar. The last boss can be a little bit tricky to take down or at least last a long time, so make sure you are geared up, enchanted and such. Once you are done with the assault, you will turn in all of the quests, get some corrupted gear and one of the very first essences of the patch, depending on your spec. You will be sent back to the Heart of Azeroth, where you will also unlock the corruption cleansing mechanic with Mother, basically deleting the corrupted affix from your item with its negative and positive effect for the gear that drops with said corruption that you don't want. After this, you will do the same thing in Pandaria. Veil of Eternal Blast was to be specific for the other faction and essence. As you do assaults and dailies, you will acquire Coalescing Visions, which is your first new currency. Dailies will reward you with 50 each, while rares and treasures found in the revamped zones will give you less. These are important because 10k of these is the entering price for Horrific Visions, and that's all you will use them for anyway. You can do a weekly Ny'alotha assault that rewards you with 10k Coalescing Visions, and 2 non-Ny'alotha assaults per week that give you 5.5k each. Once you unlock the legendary cloak by simply following Rathian's quest lines, you will need to upgrade it, and to do that you need corrupting cores. Here's what you have to keep in mind. Every horrific vision you do has to be completed by killing Thrall or Illyria, depending on which one you get, so that you can be rewarded with said core. If you get sidetracked with bonus objectives and zones, you will run out of sanity, especially for the first time. And if you miss a vision, you don't fall behind as much as posted recently, and the quests that fail get rolled over to the next week. Each week, your cloak's upgrade level will be capped, so you don't feel like endless grinding, and in the first week, you'll be able to upgrade it all the way to rank 6. You can easily farm for 3 horrific visions per week, and so far the farming is less grindy than anything in 8.2, but if you want the 4th vision, you will have to put some serious man hours with dailies, rares and treasure farming. No, really, these drop like almost no currency, but hey, free time to spend in the game is free time to spend in the game, a smart man once said. Or was it a no-life WoW player? To make sure your horrific visions are also going smoothly, you will need to upgrade the new skill tree that the Titanic Research Archive offers, specifically for the visions. You can aim at upgrading the solo buffs for you, since you can solo the scenario, or if you have a group, you can upgrade the group buffs first. If you do the group buffs route, you'll have to be certain you have people to do it with, since everyone needs to be on the same page and have the vessel key currency to enter the vision. To do visions, you will need a vessel item that acts as a key, letting you enter the actual scenario. The vessel can be brought from Rathian with 10k Coalescing Visions. From the beginning of the scenario, you will be taken through a mini/mock vision, then a normal vision, then you will be asked to enter the Horrific Vision, which is the real deal. In the actual first one, you won't get Corrupting Core, which is the item that will upgrade your cloak, or at least I didn't get one because Rathian had no quest for me to complete. However, simply unlocking all of the systems as well as the Titanic Research Archive will give you enough currency to do 2 additional visions, and each time Rathian will have a quest for you that will give you the Corrupting Core at the end, so make sure you always have that quest picked up before actually going in. For the second horrific vision, you should have the archive up with the first upgrade made for the sanity restoration orbs, which have 3 charges and replenish your sanity bar once inside. Throughout the vision, you will loot corrupted mementos, which is the second currency type. You will get this from the story quest as well. You will use these mementos to upgrade your Titanic archive and eventually purchase your socket for your gear from Rathian and other cosmetics, but more on sockets later in the video. As you get better and better at visions, you can do side objectives and other mini bosses that will reward you with more than one basic chest at the end. And the reason you want this is for the corrupted mementos, which normally shouldn't be more important than actually killing Ny'alotha's disciple Thrall or Illyria for the cloak upgrade, since the way the content is made is not to incentivize you to farm visions non-stop. So losing out on one will put you behind your competition until the following week, where you can catch up. So it comes down to how serious you are about your character's progression. And speaking about being a bit more serious, check our new This Is Living channel, which shows a different side of Marcelian&Online. Both of us essentially talk about life experiences, self-development, and overall topics we think are cool, and we already have a few videos out which you can check. It's all about the good vibes and connecting with you guys on a more personal, unscripted level. It won't take away at all from the WoW channel, so feel free to check it out once you're done with this video. To finish up on the visions and farming the currency, you can do one daily lesser vision for 2000 coalescing visions if it's the first of the week, and each other subsequent vision giving you 1k of that said currency. They also provide 20 corrupted mementos and 8 respectively on the subsequent ones. So as you can tell, you can essentially farm at least 8k per week on top of the assaults, which net you 21k plus whatever passive amount you acquire from dailies and such. The new patch will also come with a revamped auction house that will essentially make it easier to sell things and buy things, improving the quality of life for everyone looking to make gold. With this, you will get new profession recipes, at least in gear crafting, that you might be interested depending on what you currently have. Most professions will get the standard extra eye level gear, Ny'alotha Vanta's runes, reputation contracts from the new factions, and etc, etc. Cooking, however, will get a few new food recipes strictly related to horrific visions, each with a specific buff that you might want. A move speed increase buff, crowd control reduction, passive health, regen, reduce aggro range, and restore 100 lost sanity. You can fish for the mats for these recipes in Uldum and Veil of Eternal Blossoms. As for the normal progression gear, it won't get corrupted when you craft it, but can roll with sockets instead. So this can be a reason to get crafting profession instead of waiting for you to buy the sockets with mementos. This is especially important for you to know and prepare and work towards. Crafted gear will give you an edge over everyone else and is especially important if you want to tackle the endgame content competitively. Yeah. The profession system has a similar mechanic to the 8.2's Abyssal Focus, and this time is the Void Focus, which you build towards by gathering recipes and void splinters from the invasions. Following the quest chain, it will eventually unlock higher eye level recipes.
Once you are past the intro scenarios, have your cloak and got the hang of visions, you will want to do some endgame content. That can be dungeons, arenas, or raids, or mount collecting, but really that's always the case, so not really endgame shit. If we are talking progression, regardless of what you want to do, there are a few things to consider coming from 8.2, and especially for returning and new players. The big fucking issue that has had the community up in arms are the essences going into 8.3, specifically if you're playing an alt or haven't found them all. Although we don't have them account-wide just yet, Blizzard has been nerfing the cost and requirements to getting them multiple times, to the point where right now it might take you half the time to get it as before. The mechagon, Ny'alotha, and other essences have been made more accessible, and we have touched on these in our regular WoW News videos on cooldown. You can check out our other videos there, or Wowhead articles that cover any and all changes. The rep requirement for all of them have been reduced by 1 level for all ranks, and the cost, especially the Rust Bowl resistance ones, has been drastically reduced. Other essences like Memory of Lucid Dreams and Vision of Perfection have also been made easier to access, so don't hesitate, grab them while they're hot or before the raid and new season starts. The new patch has also new essences that you will gradually get by doing content. This time they drop from horrific visions and intro questlines and the actual raid, so you don't have to go out of your way to do content you don't want to for the 8.3 essences. More importantly, they provide you with corruption resistance, which lowers your overall corruption level, letting you equip more and more strong affixes on your gear. As you progress through the endgame content in the patch, you will become accustomed to the new gearing system. That replaces Titan Forging for all 8.3 related content that drops gear. As of the recording of this video, doing the all BFA raids will still net you Titan Forging gear if you are lucky, so the corrupted gear comes only from Season 4 stuff and 8.3 specific content. Corruption applies to the item the same way as Titan Forging. Once you loot it, it can either be corrupted or not, and if it's not corrupted, it will randomly, as far as we know currently, roll one corruption affix out of the currently available ones with a corruption debuff associated with it. The corruption affixes have 3 tiers. Each tier increases the bonus it gives you and the cost of equipping it when talking about the actual corruption. The corruption cost essentially means you get corrupted by Ny'alotha and have a permanent debuff you need to deal with. The higher corruption level, the more debuffs you get until you are very likely to die. Also, the number of corruption on you will increase the strength of the debuff itself. Unequipping the corrupted items, cleansing them, or getting corruption resistance will lower your corruption level and hopefully take you back a few levels or debuffs to a potential sweet spot where you feel the benefits will overweigh the detrimental effects. This will be the system you will play with and juggle in 8.3. What corruption affixes you get, how many you can equip, will be entirely up to you. Corruption will not roll with sockets, but instead sockets can be manually added to gear, purchasing them for 25k corrupted mementos from Wrathion. The price is steep and you cannot do it right away in the patch, but the way the system seems to be is that by doing assaults and visions and upgrading your Titanic research archive, you will eventually start getting more and more mementos as the patch progresses, eventually having all your gear socketed. This season we will get Mechagon as the new Mythic Plus dungeon, or dungeons rather, since it will come with 2 wings. Besides the normal Mythic Plus things, both of the wings will drop sprockets to upgrade your Vision of Perfection essences, in case you haven't got it by now, so it's a good thing to keep in mind. Also, we have the new affix Awaken that will very drastically change how you will do your keys. The affix will spawn 14 obelisks in your dungeon, each guarded by a Ny'alotha lieutenant. You can click the obelisk to be transported to a parallel dimension where you will fight one of the 4 different lieutenants, each with their own abilities. Once the lieutenant dies, it will spawn an exit portal wherever it died, so you can actually choose where that can be, essentially skipping as much of the dungeon as you want. The obelisk location will also have a portal, and you can use these as many times per run as you need. If you don't kill all the lieutenants by the time you reach the dungeon's end boss, they will spawn and you will fight them and their mechanics together with the boss. The end of dungeon boss isn't necessarily the last one you kill, but the actual lore decided last boss. For instance, in Freehold, oftentimes you kill Harlan before the ogre. No matter how many bosses are left alive, once you engage Harlan, the lieutenants will spawn. Together with the new affix, the raid will hit in the new season as well. A big ass 12 boss raid that will award some pretty cool loot, weapons specifically, which will always roll corrupted, and for which you need the legendary cloak as upgraded as shit, specifically for Ny'alotha to tackle his sanity mechanic. Yup, the cloak will not only be your horrific visions helper tool, but also helps you in the last fight of the raid, so make sure to always have it maxed on upgrades. It also provides the first corruption resistance for you to counteract the negative of the corrupted gear you will inevitably get by raiding. There will be essences that do that, and each class uses a different one. We all cried to Blizzard for alts to be more accessible and have essences account-wide. We didn't get that. Yet. We have touched on this in our all cooldown video again, which you can check, but basically the devs are steadily making the essences easier and easier to get until essentially they will become account wide. inevitably. Until then, it might still suck, but playing alts doesn't seem to be as bad as in 8.2. Plus, you have the benefits of getting into the new allied races Vulpera for the Horde and Mechagnoms for Alliance, and also heritage armor for Goblins and Worgen, if that is more of your jam. And let's not forget, if you pre-purchased Shadowlands, you can actually roll a Death Knight with any of the allied races in the game and play through the new Bolvar scenario. Once you ding 120, besides the cheaper yet still not account-wide essences, you will also have catch-up gear. In the new revamp zones, you will have mobs from the assaults drop bind on account gear tokens that you can send to your alts. They are armor type restricted, but they can start your newly ding alt with 410 gear and 415 Azerite armor, which can be something to think about down the line to start saving them as soon as you can.
There are a lot of resources that you can check that go into more details about all of this. Resources such as wowheads, class discords and such. Not to mention you should definitely stay subbed and enable those notifications for us, since we will have more 8.3 videos and class guides coming very soon for the new patch and the new season. Or you can simply visit us on our stream, twitch.tv/MarcelianOnline, and we can talk any and all things WoW related. And of course, we cannot go forward without actually thanking our Patreons. Guys, you are amazing, and as well as our subs on Twitch. You guys are making everything so cool. We recently got partnered with Twitch and we're super excited. We cannot be more happy that we're actually growing as a channel and as a community, and we love each and every one of you guys. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And hey, thank you as well for watching the video. Take care and see you in the next one.